You're listening to Real Talk Texas on 570 KLIF News and Information. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert Steve Hakes.
Welcome to Real Talk Texas. I'm your host, Steve Hakes. Heard every Sunday at noon here on KLIF News and Information, AM 570. Real Talk Texas is a forum where our listeners can get real advice from real experts. And you can always reach out to me with your personal questions by jumping online and visiting us at realtalktexas.com. That's realtalktexas.com. Or simply call me when I'm off the air at 214-643-6021. Again, that's 214-643-6021. And yes, I'm a federally licensed mortgage originator, NMLS license number 242522. Well, last week we had Clay Stapp of Clay Stapp Company in to discuss the urban real estate market and how it's shifted from a buyer's market to a seller's market, and that the inventories are low. And we're hearing that consistently from a lot of our realtors we have on the show here. We're at that point where housing prices are starting to come back. I think you saw in the news this week some good news as far as housing pricing nationally starting to creep back up. It's not jumping up rapidly. We're not back to 2005 levels, but at least we feel like we've hit bottom and we're on our way back up, which is a good thing for the real estate market. And we've also had in the past, we've had Alicia Trevino in our studio to talk about both urban and suburban living, because her firm is a little larger, does more suburban and urban living. So that's a great resource for you. And she's been on to talk about distressed real estate. And what that means is homes that may go up for short sale. They may be REO or bank-owned properties, things like that. She's got a few agents that work specifically in those categories for you that can really be a really good resource. So I thought it might be a good idea to take the next step with this show and talk about the real estate investors. I'm hearing a lot about real estate, that it's a great investment right now. And so I thought what I would do is bring Alicia back to the studio because she's an expert in that area as well. And what she's going to talk about today is, how to navigate buying a normal home, not distressed inventory, or maybe distressed inventory, depending on what your strategy is as far as whether it's a buy and hold, or if you just want to buy it, reposition the property, and sell it again. I guess that's a politically correct way of talking about flipping homes. But that's really what it's looked like in the commercial world is buying a home, repositioning it, putting some money into it, and then selling it at true market value. So that's another way of handling that. So one of the things I do, I know I've talked about Alicia in the past on the show, but for new listeners out there, I just want to hear a little bit about who she is and what she does. I mean, Alicia Trevino is really a true expert. She's been in the real estate industry for 22 years now. She has offices in Uptown and Mesquite and in Dallas. And she was named Superstar Agent by Texas Monthly Magazine. She was voted by Best Realtor by D Magazine for the past 3 years. She's been ranked among the top 100 realtors in the nation by Realtor Magazine. And she's ranked number 17 for the nation's top-selling teams for units sold. And the other thing that Alicia does that I really like about her is, and I really feel like true industry professionals give back, and they contribute their time to help their industry as well. And she's done a great job with that. She's been on the DFW Realtors Association nominating committee. She's been on the board of directors with the Texas Association of Realtors. She's been on the National Association of Hispanic Professionals. So I can easily say that we've got another real expert in our studio today. Alicia, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me again. I really enjoyed it.
Well, and I believe we're going to have Alicia on going forward because she's a really good resource, and I think you listeners will be able to connect with her very well because she does a great job of really listening to what people want and then providing that service that they need. And so one of the things we're going to do on the show that's a little different, throughout the show, I want you to get your cell phone out. And if you would, just put in this number, and we're going to have you send us a quick text if you need some help. So if you send a text to our show here at 817-925-2546, that's 817-925-2546. And if you want some advice on real estate investing or to sell your home quickly, because Alicia has some cash buyers that are ready to go as well, just send a text to our studio here and just say invest or sell. Either way, just let us know what you want, and we'll put you in touch with Alicia and get you guys working together. Next thing I want to do is just really start on, there's a few different strategies when you're a home investor. So let's talk about the person that wants to buy a rent house or a condo or small, duplex or fourplex or maybe even a small apartment building. And what's a strategy for buy and hold? These are people not looking to fix up and flip or reposition a property. It's just they want rental income.
Right. I think so many people think that they can't do it. There's the average homeowner who does have a savings account out there and can buy a rental property and can make it into a long-term investment, and now's the time to do it. There's still a lot of property out there. You're not going to get it way below market value. You're going to get it at market value, but now's the time because we're appreciating in value. So over in the next 5 years, they're going to really make a profit on this, or they could keep it long-term for 15 years and have really nice retirement income. And I think a lot of folks are just not aware that because they're not so-called investors, that they can't buy property. And that's exactly the type of market we're in right now and who we're trying to help out.
Well, and I also think, Alicia, when you talk about the real estate market, there's so much national news out there that's really negative about real estate. And that really doesn't apply to us always here in North Texas. We've had in some pockets, we've had reductions from today's market to what it was in 2005, probably maybe 10, 15% at most. It's not like California, Florida, Las Vegas, where you had 50% reduction in values, and that's why we've got a little bit of a crisis going on. So it's a little safer here. But if you think about it, if we just get back to 2005 levels, you're going to make 15% on the value of the appreciation of a home over the next few years.
Absolutely. It's such a great time for the average consumer to go out there and invest property, as long as they're with a realtor who understands the market and places them in the right location so that they can invest. It's such a great time with appreciation, like you were saying. We don't expect it to go backwards again. It's been a long 12 months of appreciation, and we're even seeing it right now where I sold a house 12 months ago and able to sell it for that seller in 12 months and not have to come to closing with money. So what a great time. If you're afraid.
That's change.
It is changing. It is changing. Investing used to be really risky. And I don't want to just say it's not risky, because certainly, everything does have a risk, but it's one of the safest bets right now.
Well, and I think you hit on a good point earlier about people feeling a little bit scared of it because maybe they don't know. And we're going to talk later in the show today, Alicia, about how to build your team of experts that you can really rally around you to build your own little business of good advisors that are there to help you make sure you're making the right decisions. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about repositioning properties, what to put into a house, what not to put into a house as far as resale, how to really maximize your investment and manage it like a professional with very little effort.
That's vitally important. That's absolutely important. Building the team is.
Okay. Well, we're going to get back to that. Now, if you're listening, you got to stay tuned, because one of the things we're going to talk about with Alicia in the next segment, we're really going to talk about the math. We're going to talk about what's available in the marketplace. Why should you buy a rent house and keep it? How many of those are good for the average investor? So stay tuned. You're listening to Real Talk Texas. We'll be back after the break. And while we're on the break, if you really want to find out about what to do with investing in a home, or if you have a house you want to sell quickly to one of Alicia's cash buyers, just text our show. Grab your cell phone right now. Just send a text to 817-925-2546. That's 817-925-2546, and simply text invest or sell.
Hi,